I'm not. Thank you. Wasn't
It's
aware.
a test. It's all a test.
Nothing in the notice count.
Not that I'm aware of.
The Senate will please come to order. We will have a moment of silence to get the day started. Good afternoon. Are there any announcements? No announcements? Seeing none, we have 3 House bills for reference. Under temporary rule 44A, we have the first being H146, introduced by Representative Sims and others. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H146, an act relating to amendments to the charter of the Northeast Kingdom Waste Management District.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill is referred to the Committee on Rules under temporary rule 44A. We now have H271, introduced by Representatives Emmons and Morris. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H271, an act relating to approval of amendments to the charter of the town of Springfield.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and further, the bill is also referred to the Committee on Rules under Rule 44A. We have H418, introduced by Representatives McFawn and Galfetti. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H418, an act relating to approval of an amendment to the charter of the town of Barry.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, is also under Rule 44A, referred to the Committee on Rules. That brings us to the orders of the day. We have up for consideration for third reading S60. Third reading has been ordered. Are there any amendments before third reading? Seeing none, please listen to the third reading of the bill.
S60, an act relating to local option taxes.
Now you've heard the third reading of the bill. The question is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for that question? Seeing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, you have passed S60. We now have up for consideration S135. Third reading was ordered. Are there any amendments before third reading? Seeing none, please listen to the third reading of the bill.
S135, an act relating to the establishment of VT Saves.
Now you've heard the third reading of the bill. The question is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for that question? Senator Franklin.
Thank you, Mr. President. There were 2 questions that were asked during second reading that I indicated that I would respond to at third reading. The first question is, why aren't employer contributions allowed within Vermont Saves? And the basic reason is Vermont Saves is an IRA plan, meaning an individual retirement account plan. And by federal law, employer contributions are not allowed to be made in such plans, nor are state contributions. The second question is, would Vermont Saves create a situation in which employers would stop providing their own retirement plans? We can only answer a question like that, which is somewhat hypothetical, by the example of other states. And what we did look at is a study that was conducted about other plans in other states. Massachusetts, for example, has a voluntary program subject to ERISA, the Federal Employee Retirement Income Savings Act, and that is voluntary. And it's interesting that in an examination of that, they only have about 200 employers, less than 200 employers, and less than 2,000 employees participating. Other states that have implemented the simpler plan, similar to the plan that we're adopting, and that are voluntary, have huge participation rates with employees ranging up to 70%. The other indication that we saw from other states is that more employers created employee-sponsored plans after the voluntary plan that we're talking about. That type of plan was in fact instituted. So it actually resulted in the opposite of what was feared. In other words, more plans in fact developed. Now I would add, as you always do in funding situations, past performance is not a guarantee of future success. Thank you, Mr. President.
The question now is, shall the bill pass? Senator from Washington.
May I inquire of the presenter of the bill?
The senator from Franklin is interrogated as the reporter of the bill.
I had somebody ask me this question, and I'm just looking at the bill as introduced, but I think maybe that is the bill, because committee bill maybe, but am I correct in that it's voluntary for the employee, but it's an opt-out, that the covered employer will have the program and will automatically enroll them in the payroll deduction unless the employee opts out? Or is that not true?
That is correct. It is an opt-out.
Okay, thank you.
The question now is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, you have passed S-135. We now have up for consideration JRH-4. JRH-4 is a resolution for action. Has it been read a first time? Okay, so the question is, shall the Senate adopt JRH-4? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, you have adopted JRH-4. That completes the orders of the day. Senator from Chittenden Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pending announcements, I would move that the Senate stand in adjournment until 11:30 a.m. Friday, April 7th.
Senator from Chittenden Central has moved that pending announcements, the Senate stand adjournment until Friday, April 7th at 11:30 a.m. Are there any announcements? Senator from Madison.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate, wow, it's early. The Senate Government Operations Committee will meet at 1:30. I also have another announcement. If you happen to be reporting on a appointment for tomorrow that is underlined in the calendar, please have your floor report ready for tomorrow. If you're not going to be ready, please let me know. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator from Bennington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Education will meet at 1:30.
Senator from Chittenden Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a notice to the members of the Rules Committee. If you could remain on the floor when we've completed our session, we'll have a quick meeting of the Rules Committee. Thank you.
Senator from Washington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Finance will meet at 1:30.
Senator from Essex.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate institutions will meet 15 minutes after following gavel.
Are there any other announcements? Senator from Windsor.
1 week from today, colleagues, senators, and everybody else. A week from tonight is Cabaret, and I encourage the Senate to have a strong showing at Cabaret, which we sadly, we haven't had Cabaret for a while, but I would really love to have the Senate have a strong showing. Anyone who's interested in purchasing a ticket are $20 a piece, and they'll go to Something Worthy. I can't remember what it is. I think it's Something Worthy about food. And anyway, if you'd be kind enough to purchase your tickets, we would love to have you. But more importantly, we would love to have some fabulous Senate acts. Not that it's a competition, but just saying.
Are there any further announcements? Top that, Senator from Madison.
I'm not trying. Senate Natural Resources and Energy will meet tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Are there any further announcements? Senator from Franklin.
I would like to take the opportunity to commend and to express my thanks to the senator from Windsor. The organization to which she could not remember that the money is being given is the Vermont Republican Party.
A worthy and desperate need, true. By way of announcement, I'd just like to let folks know that was just informed that the Professionals of Color organization will be meeting actually at my office at 3:15 if anybody would like to stop by and meet with some of those folks. They informed me this morning they were coming and asked me to let people know, so this is the best way I can let you know. With that, are there any further announcements? Seeing none, the senator from Chittenden Central has moved that the Senate now stand in adjournment until 11:30 on Friday, April 7th. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, and the Senate will stand adjournment until 11:30 Friday, April 7th.